Um, I hope that you're having a good Tuesday. It's Tuesday where I'm at. You may be ahead. You may be behind. Excuse me. Um, Today, I wanted to come out here and put a few things out. As today was a reminder for myself personally of a couple things that I thought I had on lock. And when I say that, what I mean is that it's very important that we do not lose sight, not so much of maybe where it is you've been, as in referring to the past specifically at this point, but perhaps more to do with where it is you intend to head to and how you intend on getting there. A lot of times in life, I've personally found that you have to, or excuse me, life has a way of, even when you're trying to control the pace, forcing your hand, pushing you maybe into a spot that you don't want to be at or choose to be at. But let's face facts. Most of the time, you're gonna have to do the work, however you refer to that, to get to the reward. And why I'm on about this today, okay? Work before reward, okay? Is that if you teach somebody to do it the other way around, all right? If you teach reward-based practices and then try to teach somebody that there's work involved, you're going to put not only yourself, but that individual in a very difficult position. And likely what will happen is you will develop resentment and they'll develop resentment for you. So how can I go about doing this in a way that is productive, that is constructive for people other than myself? There are a few ways. The first thing is that if you are a person who has something to offer, and I believe everybody does, do not put that at the bottom of your list, okay? The skill set that you obtain is of value. What you have experienced is something that, if you're willing to share, will enable another to grow. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for coming. And it will enable them to look at things from perhaps another perspective that they did not once have the capability to see. And how I know this to be an effective tactic, an effective strategy, is because if I were to take life and chop her down the middle, the first half I spent just rolling through the punches, so to speak, just going with the rat race as you have to do, and making no room in there for me. All right, make no space in there for me. Now, I've heard people call this selfish when you put yourself first, and I believe that for a very long time too. It's selfish to put yourself first. But let me ask you this. How many people are counting on you? Whether it's family, friends, your career, your channel. How many people are counting on you? So if you're not in the mix as far as where you're at for who am I in this equation, who is Shine, who are you, who is Jackie, who is, what is it, Big Megs? Hey, welcome, y'all. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. what is it that you're hoping to attain, and how are you going about getting it? And if you can't figure out what someone is doing to you, or why maybe you're doing said thing to somebody else, take a step back and look at the outcome of what happens. All right, what happened in that particular situation? Because this is how you grow, this is how you learn. At least it's the best way I've learned how so far. There will be people that come along and tell you that you need to do X, Y, and Z. And you will naturally feel inclined to listen to them. I'll give you an example, all right? Before I started a YouTube channel, okay, because this is the most relatable thing I can pop off about right now, I spent months, probably more like a year to a year and a quarter, if I really get into it, and I could map it out, but long enough, spending time watching other people tell me how it is you're supposed to do this. And I continued to do it. I continued to watch, click this, slide that, add this, and some of it, yes, absolutely was helpful, okay? Some of it was. But some of it wasn't. Now I want to flip you into the real world. How many of the things that you're being told that you believe, that you're investing time, strength, and energy into, are you not getting that return on investment? And I do not mean financially. If you know anything about this channel, that is, I'm not going to say money's nothing, because I mean, we all know that that's not true, but it's definitely not in the top 3 for priorities as far as this goes. This pen has a higher priority for me than a dollar bill. Mightier than the sword, they say. I've lived long enough to see that that can absolutely be true. Force will be met with 2 things: equal or greater than force, or submission. Do you want to dance in either one of those camps? You can. You can spend a whole bunch of time figuring it out yourself. You can try. Or you can be aware and actively engage with these things. And there's a way to do this in a non-combative form. This is something that I am by no means a master at, but I am certainly getting closer to the black belt, if you know what I mean. And what I mean by that is this. If you live in turbulence, times will continue to be turbulent. They're turbulent as hell right now. If you've seen anything that's gone on the news, which I will not promote here, and who even knows how much of it is factual, how much of it is not. But there's a lot of benefit for certain people for you to be scared, to you being in a diminished position. And for you to think that you are anything less than you are is the ultimate sin in my book. And why do I say that? Well, there's been ups and downs, like I'm sure many of y'all. And I will say I have been fortunate in the last 6 months to really see things the way that Shine needs to see them. All right? It's not how you need to see them. It's not my intention to persuade anybody to do anything that I think you don't already know you need to do. It's my intention to let you know that if you feel like something is right to you by your standards, by your measures, by your values, and all it makes you, you, then run with that. If someone else is setting the bar, that can be good too. Here's where you got to watch out. It's when they put the bar here and you meet it. And they go, nah, it was actually here. And then you do that again. And then it moves up. There's a difference between building somebody up and building them up to break them. And I really do wish that that was harder to do, all right? I really wish that people didn't take things to heart as much as they do. That they were not as easily manipulated, used, abused, so on, etc. But again, in not wanting to feed that, let's shift gears. So what can you do if you're in one of these situations? Well, first you're going to have to assess where you're at and what your goal is, okay? This is an important word, goal. And a lot of people say it, but I don't think that it's often used as effectively as it could be, all right? Now, to have a good goal, I like acronyms. They work for me. And it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. SMART, okay? You want a SMART goal. What does that mean? It means it needs to be specific, realistic, attainable. Sir, I did that wrong, didn't I? Specific, yeah, measurable, accessible, relative, and timely. There we go. So the specific part is this. Specifically, this is my goal. We'll call it the outline, okay? M, measurable. In what time frame do you intend to achieve said goal? Access. Should have went like that. Man, I'm off today. Stay with me. Access. Do I have access to the things I need to meet steps 1 and 2? R, realistic. This is the part that I've struggled with. I find a lot of people I bump into struggle with, but I get a little bit better every day. All right. I know a lot of y'all, myself included, we're dreamers, but we're dreamers with purpose, okay? You have an intention in your head, you have a place, a destination, a journey in front of you, okay? And that's what you want to focus on, is that journey. And anything that comes in between you and that journey, well, then you got to make a new assessment. Is it worth me not getting to the last 2 steps? This is how a goal gets derailed and how 5 years turns into 10. And then you're wondering why I didn't do this in the first place, right? That's another common thread. Why didn't I do this years ago, right? Why didn't I just jump on? Well, could be a lot of reasons for that, right? Timing is everything. Realistic, okay? Why does it need to be realistic? Because if it's not, you're setting yourself up for failure. And T, timely, okay? How long do you figure it's going to take to actually attain what you're working towards? And you run this system over and over and over again. And why you run it over and over again is because you need to develop the routine of putting yourself into the equation with an effective plan that will work the best a plan can work. Because best laid plans, right? There'll always be a hole in the ground, a knot in the tree. You can choose to get caught up in it. You can choose to roll your ankle. You can choose to say that's an eyesore. Or you can do this. I wonder what made that happen. How did this get that way? Why is it this way? That's what I've been wondering a lot. Why is it this way? How did it get this way so quick? You can fill in your own blanks on that one. I try not to fill in the blanks as much as I used to. And that's just a term for me for when I get in my head and I excommunicate the outside world. And it's something for me that's been very easy to fall into. And today, I truly did receive a real wallop. And that was a blessing because I was getting comfortable. And when we get comfortable, I won't speak for all y'all, but it has been in my experience that we do become complacent. And complacency is like being in the deep end of the pool when you don't know how to swim, okay? You think you got it all figured out. You're pretty sure you got a lock on it. And then you figure out you can't swim. You best hope that somebody's on the sidelines watching. Better hope more that they care enough about you to either throw you a life raft or come help you out. And the important part, whatever it is you're dealing with, okay? Feel the feelings you need to, whether it's you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you're whatever, right? Don't stuff that stuff down. Unpack it. And there's a few ways you can do that. You don't need to start a YouTube channel. You can if you want, and I encourage you to do it. It's phone therapy, as we joke about in here every once in a while. But more than that, like I told you at the beginning of this cast, this is far more value to me than any dollar. Because this, not only is it multicolored, it releases the pressure valve up here. Scientifically, when you put pen to paper and you just let come out, what comes out, you don't even need to actively be thinking about it. Maybe you sing songs, maybe you paint pictures, maybe you do whatever it is that I can't think of right now. You need to do those things for yourself, okay? And you need to make sure that they're part of your daily. If you can't get it done on the daily, please put it in weekly. Because this stuff piles up and it piles up fast. And if you do not keep your eye on it, you're going to get something that comes out of nowhere and just goes. And then you're going to be back to square one. Remember the first day of your first job ever? You remember what that was like, coming in, trying to meet everybody, trying to see where everybody's at? And then after that, you end up maybe shifting, changing that job, going to another place. Let's say it's similar in position, all right? So this travels through a little bit better. Well, you start back out at the bottom again, right? And then you got to slowly work yourself back up. That is every single day of your life. There's a difference though. You can choose to put in the work now to make sure you have your reward later. In my experience, it does not work the other way around. At least not at an efficacy rate that's worth participating in. Follow your heart. Combine it with your mind, because these two things are designed to be used together. If you allow one to be used above the other, you will not create a balance. You will create a disturbance, and it will go right down to the core of you. And then it will be built on and layered. And then one day you'll wonder, how did I get here? Save yourself some time. Take a minute. Get real. Check out all you're doing. Check out all you're investing in. And make sure you're in the equation. I put a hashtag on something earlier, and this is just what I call a striking. It's like when you're doing your thing, or maybe you're not, you're just in your head and something flashes. And I'm pretty sure it's something my grandpa used to say. Wise up. Hashtag wise up. For all y'all that did come in, for all y'all that did show up, and those who will come, take care of yourself. I'm telling you, man, take care of yourself. Animal man, human, take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's you and your maker. All right? People come and go. People will come and go. And that's all right. You learn a little bit from each one. You pick a little something up. But you do need to know when enough's enough. When it's time to keep on, what did Wayne Rockstead say? On the road again, right? Yeah. When it's time to get on the road again, all right? But anyway, I figured I'd just pop in and drop a few. And in the meantime and in between time, you know what it is. Keep on shining, baby. We out.